Hello, Kimarahashi, Vismisha Joseph, an Alaba, Faucha Q Gaelic le Joseph, ha podcast Acum, show podcast Acum. Hami gle va an Jew, ach ha fuur agus ha fluch, ach ha briach an Jew. Coas a hashiv, coas a hashiv. Hamie fudach an am pashlich. Ha gedurf pashlich. Avil shiv a gober an Jew. Hami adol a gober. Hami adol a gober. J an tinema horst. J an tinema horst. Agus J anish a hashiv. Avilu posta. Hami posta le avi. Avil chawlach akav. Avil chawlach akav. Chanyeomi chawlach. Hami kukid anish. How jansachig Gaelic. How jansachig Gaelic. Ha is nog jansachig Gaelic. Je hashiv ag iri anju. Je hashiv ag iri anju. What do you want today? Hello and welcome to another Gaelic with Joseph. So you should have understood everything there except the last part. Okay, so everything should be quite clear. If it's not, please go back and revise or send me a message and ask me. What I just said a moment ago is what do you want? What do you want? And that's what we're going to talk about today. How to ask for something. So, Je hashiv agiri and you, what do you want today? Or more informally, or in the singular, Je ha'u agiri and you. And of course the answer is Hami agiri, or if there's more of you, you can say Ha shin agiri, we want. So Hami agiri, I want. Hami agiri. Hami agiri Aran. Aran, I want bread. Hami agiri Aran. Down o geal. Avil shiv agiri Aran down. No Aran geal. Do you want white bread or brown bread? And you can see the preposition for or there is no. The way you say please in Gaelic is mas du hol mas du hol please, mas du hol So it would sound something like this. Hami agiri arin mas du hol mas du hol And in case you're wondering why it's so long to say please, it's something like if you please. It's a very rough translation, and that's the way we say it in Gaelic. Mas du hol mas du hol Now, what other things do you think that you could ask for in a shop? Well, càise is one of these things. It means cheese. Càise. Hami agiri càise. Now, the problem here is that if you look at my show notes, there's a little stroke above the letter A, and that tells you that you have to elongate it. Càise. If you don't elongate it, then it means something else. Càise, said very quickly, means haste, okay, or maybe quick-tempered. Okay, so càise, whenever you see that little mark above the letters, try to stretch it a little bit, not too much, but in this case, càise, 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 geullaichte, geullaichte. That just means prepared cheese or processed cheese, the kind you get in a packet. Because I guess in the Gaelic world you have a choice of 100 different types of cheeses, I suppose. Càise, geullaichte. Càise, gearach, red cheese. Càise, gearach, red cheese. Do you remember a sibh? A sibh. Well, if you want to ask a question like, what do you want? We said earlier, a veil can be used. So, what do you want is geal agiri. But to say, do you want, you could also say a veil sibh agiri. Do you want a veil sibh agiri Aran? Do you want bread? A veil sibh ag càise. A veil sibh a càise, for example. So, the same as English. You go to a shop, you have all the small talk. Hello, cymar a hashiv hami gleiva, ha e fuur. And then you can say, hami agiri càise, hami agiri Aran, for example. Okay? And on top of that, you also could talk about numbers if you wanted to. And of course, quite commonly, you can say, Jehado. That just means, how's it going? Jehado, or what's up? Okay, it's a very nice thing to say. Before you move in for the kill. Hami agiri, Aran agus càise. In one of our last lessons, we spoke quite a lot about time. You might remember, well, there wasn't actually time we spoke about, it was numbers. And it's something that you have to remember, because to make time, you simply add the word uair after the number. So you have uair, 1 o'clock, and then you have 2 o'clock, which is uair, and then of course it goes into the plural. Okay? 3 uairean, 4 uairean, 5 uairean, 6 uairean. So you need to review the numbers and just put uairean after them. Okay? And then it continues on. So for example, uair, the same rules that we spoke about using numbers. So between 1 o'clock and 10 o'clock, it's quite straightforward. And then it changes in accordance with what we spoke about before. So, nui uairean, 10 uairean, 1 uair 10. 1 uair 10 would be 11 o'clock. And that's how it is. That's time in Gaelic. But don't worry, as we come across it more, we'll be using it more. So you don't need to worry about it now. I just want to say, for anyone who's listening for the first time, welcome. This is a podcast to help you with Gaelic. It's the slow way of learning Gaelic for people who find Gaelic very challenging, because it's not easy, especially with some of the sounds. So we're just picking up a tiny little bit of Gaelic in every lesson, and we are increasing what we say in Gaelic in every lesson as well. Okay, so there's an extra sentence, for example, that gets added into the Gaelic part at the beginning, and very slowly that will increase and increase and increase, so that we end up talking for about 5 or 6 minutes in Gaelic before we bring something in that's new. And that's the way we'll be learning. If you're looking for something faster, there's plenty of resources out there on social media, such as YouTube, and those things are very, very good. For example, I think there's Gaelic with Jason. He's a very fast, quick Gaelic teacher, and a lot of his YouTube clips are free, so you can listen to him. He's an American guy, but this is a slow way of doing it. Okay, so if you find Gaelic difficult, maybe you're older, maybe you just don't like languages, but you have to learn, this podcast is for you. So before we finish for today, let's just ask the question again. Jihaw agirianju. Jihaw agirianju. What do you want today? What do you want today? And then you could follow that up by saying, Avil Shiv, do you want Avil Shiv Aran? For example, do you want bread? Avil Shiv Càise. Now remember, I'm using Shiv here because I'm talking to all of you, it's plural, but you can use the more informal version between yourselves, which would be Avil U. Well, that's all from me for today. I hope you find these helpful, and please send me a message and let me know. You should be able to comment on these YouTube clips, but if you can't, I'll post my email in the show notes of today in case you have any comments for me. All right, okay. See you. Giullaichte.